I was sitting here and kind of thinking about some recent events, and it propelled me to recall um, when I was around a group of individuals because we were all assigned to be around each other. If that's vague enough to still make sense, and they initiated a dialogue about their favorite restaurants. One of them said they didn't like one restaurant, the other one said they didn't favor another one, which was followed by an argument that persisted for the duration of the period. And what's strange to me, and what was strange to me rather, as I sat there and watched this little back and forth, was of all the things to be bothered by, whether it's people not having food in the U.S., not being able to pay for your preferred way of living, you're upset because someone doesn't like the same food as you. And, I've always kind of been the way where there are things that if someone didn't like, I'd be a little surprised by it. Sometimes you get a little bothered by things, but to sit there and actually engage with the person, not even in a, productive way. Oh, what do you prefer about this to that? Because sometimes I'll say, well, this has more of, I don't know, potato in there. This has more gravy. To just describe it would be able to give some sense of conveying toward why they prefer that. No, instead it becomes a game of insults where they hurl all of these remarks. You don't know what good food is. You're on some kind of drug. How dare you think this is better? And what's disturbing to me, and I don't mean to turn this into some social commentary, but I've seen those type of arguments multiple times when it comes to politics, when it comes to religion. Those are two things that people discuss as the main facets that typically propel those types of arguments. But we're speaking about food. The stuff you shove in your mouth, that's really what makes you mad. And there's enough of it to go around. There's no one or two set meals. It's the same thing as there are with religions. But that it's I'm basically equating that I don't see it, this preference of meals as something to really go on or get on the other person about. There are certain fast food restaurants I prefer to others. There are certain types of foods I prefer to others, and I've usually left it at that. And so, in the course of watching the discussion persist, they begin this debate and they start asking people, "Oh, do you prefer this? Do you like this?" And I just kept hoping to myself, "Please don't pick me. Please don't say anything to me. Please don't say anything to me." And it's not because I can't defend how I feel about something, but more so, it appears having a different opinion on that of all things is what initiates their hostility. And that's coming from a place of just observing how the two of them spoke to each other in the aftermath of learning of their differences, which was so bizarre to me, um, because I usually just go about my business. I don't really think much about, does this person prefer this, this person prefer that. But apparently they did, and uh, it's a way of life I'm not accustomed to. I don't think other people should practice, arguing over food. But if you feel that's the way to go, be my guest. Just don't become so upset about a person's opinion on that you lose sight of the fact that you can at any point return to the foods that you're in favor of, and they can at any point pick the foods they're in favor of. Someone else's enjoyment of a product or just thing should not deter how you feel about it. And that's, that touches on a broader issue of just how we as a collective have this thing where we can't just like something or be in favor of a particular entity. We have to make sure it's gotten the stamp of approval of society. So thank you for watching. Have a good day.